We're in the $150,000 Audi S8. Today I'm going to tell you how dreamy this luxury limousine-like sedan is. And it all starts under the hood. Underneath this long bonnet is a 4-liter V8 twin turbo, 563 horsepower, 590 pound-feet of torque, made it to an 8-speed automatic all-wheel drive or quattro standard. We do have a performance limited slip differential in the back to put down the power, and rarely do you see air filters exposed on modern cars. It just lets you know Audi has made sure that this is getting plenty of air going straight to those air filters. And you can see we actually have a functional hood here. No, there's no like hood scoops, but it channels air from the grill area. So it is a ram air effect going into the hood and engine. So pretty fantastic. The styling here on the Audi S8, well, it's a sleeper with a blacked out Audi logo, blacked out S8 logo right there. We got these matrix LED headlights that put on a show for us. And putting on that turn indicator, yes, they are sequential, starting in the middle, flow out to the edge. It's a very nice headlight system, and we'll test it out in the dark here in a little bit. I want to show you the rear tail lights as well. That's something Audi does well in the exterior of the vehicle with the lighting. I'll talk more about the interior lighting. And I can just hear that V8 purring away with these quad tip exhausts, and the vehicle is lowering right now. This has an active height for easy ingress and egress, so it is a bit jumpy. So when you open the door, the vehicle pops up several inches to make it easier to get in and out of. And the side profile of this is just one massive sedan, and it is gorgeous. And I love how simple it is, how understated it is. It's kind of that stealth wealth. But I want to open the door here, and you see the car pops up a few inches. It's just super, super cool. All right, so I want to get in the trunk. This thing should be an absolute road trip machine. Of course, it's automated here. And do we have a spare tire? And the answer is yes. That's pretty rare nowadays to get a spare tire on a luxury vehicle. It's all felt lined in here, no surprise. And you do have a ski pass through, but an absolutely massive trunk. I could probably fit 2.5 Kirks in there. Let's go ahead and close this down. Let's get in the back seat, but you know, I need to cancel the turn indicator because that's going to drive me crazy. And the car's doing its pop-ups. We're not going to go on that side because I have Abe's car seat in there, and we have pillows on each side, which is nice. I'm going to move that over there for Abe's car seat. In the back of the Audi S8, carbon fiber, nice leather backs to the seats, suede on the tops, light bars on the ceiling. We have customizable lights up here as well. Let's fold this down. Oh my gosh, that was a bit dramatic just for the ski pass through. That's interesting. It's a lot of glossy black there. It would have been nice to have this carbon fiber Audi to match the S8's carbon fiber trim in the front and on the doors here. Memory seats, let's go and press this and hold it, and it is doing our little recline for us, and it takes a while. There we go, we're in recline mode. It's just super, I mean, the back to this headrest is just pillow soft. Lots of room. Let's go ahead and play with this screen a bit. I can play with the lights, customize the interior lighting experience, which is pretty cool, I guess. I can play with the blinds back here. I did not take my daughters in this, but if I did, they would just be having an absolute heck of a time. It might be a bit distracting for the driver, but that's all right. I'm just their chauffeur anyways. And you can see just one button, all the shades open up. Pretty fancy. Yes, I do have massaging seats back here, and we're just going to click start because I cannot be uncomfortable. I mean, I'm very comfortable, but this just takes it to the next stop. It is actually massaging Abe's seat over there, so let's make sure we're on the correct seat. Let's go and click stop. There we go. Now we're on the correct seat, so we're not massaging Abe's base to his seat. All right. I can also control the seats from here. Okay, these directional pad buttons seem to be the lumbar, which is pretty fancy. Of course, I have my reclining options here. So man, there's just a lot going on in this back seat. And inside here, just a real small felt lined with a small light. Don't forget the light. And we also have lit up USB-Cs back here in this small felt container. So very, very fancy. Now this is one of the big knocks. These cup holders are tiny. So if I try to put it in here, does not fit. Try to put it up here, does not fit. So, I mean, this is not a big cup, guys. This is pretty standard, and Audi dropped the ball there with the size of the cup holders throughout the vehicle. Fan control here with just it's all touch capacitive, and it gives you kind of an auditory click, so kind of cool. But we have side vents here as well as these vents here, and of course you have an additional accessory port here to plug in your laptop for doing work in the backseat. This is kind of like an aluminum finish. I like it. It would have been nice, again, have this aluminum finish go on back here instead of this glossy black. You guys can see it's dusty. Well, at least I can see that it's dusty, it's dirty, and it gets fingerprints on it. So back here is actually all suede. You see those Bang & Olufsen speakers back there. It's a very, very comfortable experience, but this is actually my first time back here other than putting Abe into his car seat. My mom sat back here on the way back from the airport. She was, well, she was comfortable. I'll say that. It's not always easy to make the mother comfortable. So well done, Audi. And just look at this attention on this quilted door. I mentioned the carbon fiber. Yes, it's leather up here, but look at that. Just absolutely exquisite. And additional carbon fiber down there. Nice speaker grills too. Fully glass roof, as we saw when we were sitting in the back seat. And a nice skid plate here that illuminates. Now, when you get in this at night, all the ambient lighting turns white to help you get in and see around. So it's pretty fancy. Speaking of fancy, let's check out this seat. Yes, S on the seat, this kind of burgundy, Ron Burgundy quilted seats, very, very nice. Inside here, a little light, more USB-Cs, your wireless chargers in there. And I do have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, for example. There it is. I don't want to get copyright strike by playing some Beethoven, so I'll just turn down the volume. It is glossy, all glossy black. Again, it would have been nice to have aluminum here or carbon fiber. At least I have carbon fiber here on the shifter. Volume knobs right here, drive selects right here. Everything's pretty easy to get to. Again, touch is not my favorite thing here. It's not the most luxurious, but it is, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, gets the job done, and I'm used to it at this point, all right? Quattro here on the dash, all glossy black. Then we get up to the carbon fiber. These vents are hidden by carbon fiber. This one is 2, and this will pop up if I turn the fan speed up. There you go. How neat is that? And it just kind of like, it just comes out at me. Oh man, it's super, super neat. Yeah, the Bang & Olufsen, there it is. You have to turn the car all the way off for the Bang & Olufsen speakers to go down and open the door. All right, so I close the door. There they pop up again, and it's kind of like the welcome screen. It's very interesting. So yeah, they also recess and come out at you when it's ready to start the car up. So, all right, the largest screen in the car is actually not these center screens. It's this one back here, the 12-inch screen. It's fairly customizable. I'm getting anywhere from 15 to 20 miles per gallon. Even on the highway, I wasn't getting the greatest fuel economy, but you know, you have almost 600 horsepower here to play with, so it's totally worth the drop in fuel economy. Memory seats on this side, only 2 settings. It's kind of surprising, to be honest. I thought that we would have more settings here, but it's absolutely fine. I don't think very many people are going to be using more than 2 settings on memory seats. Again, the front doors are just as nice as the rear doors. Nice leather top here. I don't have a digital rear view mirror, so I do have if I put it into reverse, I do have a fairly nice 360 camera, high refresh rate, high resolution. It does have a 3D mode. It's pretty neat. Kind of like a matte paint color here on the demo model. But yeah, just a compass here on the rear view mirror and not a digital rear view mirror, which is surprising that it's not in such an expensive vehicle. But like I said, this vehicle hasn't changed a whole lot over the years, and nor has it needed to. So let's go and start driving the incredible Audi S8. I forgot to mention, this does have 4-wheel steering. I mentioned how fancy the suspension is as it raises and lowers, but it has 4-wheel steering, which in my tight driveway, it has worked wonders in maneuvering this boat of a vehicle in and out of tight spaces. So I love having that 4-wheel steering on such a long wheelbase vehicle. All right, 0 to 60 in the S8. Unfortunately, it did rain before this, so the roads are a little wet. Holy cow. I don't think I had too much of a traction issue there. 0 to 60 in 4.08 and 0 to 100 in 4.31. I've seen this crack 4 seconds before, personally. So let's go ahead and try that again. There we go. Holy cow, this thing's an absolute missile. 0 to 60 in 3.89 and 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 4.10. It feels good and it sounds good while you're doing it. Like I said, the roads are wet right now, and Audi's Quattro system just seemingly put it all down. There was no skips, no traction control power cuts going in. Just absolutely insane how easily it puts down the power in low traction situations or lower traction situations. And this engine is just unbelievable. Incredibly smooth. Now, here's the one thing that drives me nuts about this car, specifically with the powertrain. So you come to a stop, and I need to take it out of dynamic mode because it won't do it in dynamic mode, I don't believe. But as you come to a stop, this does have a mild hybrid, the engine will turn off. And if you want to creep a little bit, there's no engine there to creep for you. And it'll kind of want to do it on the small electrical assist. The start-stop engine is a bit annoying. And I remember that being the issue a couple years back when I reviewed this for the first time. So luckily, the start-stop engine feature you can disable right here. And I don't see why you wouldn't do that every time. You can afford its 15 to 20 miles per gallon if you can drop over $130,000 to $150,000 on this S8. So yes, just do yourself a favor, have a better experience overall by disabling the auto stop start feature. So when I turn this in the turns as well, it has cornering lamps that illuminate the side or the area where you're turning into. I'm just in comfort mode, and I remember doing 0 to 60s last time in dynamic and comfort, and the times were nearly identical. Even though there's a lot more movement in the suspension in comfort mode, I'm always going to be in the comfort mode here. So there are a few driving modes, which are right off the shifter: auto, dynamic, comfort plus. I guess technically I'm in auto mode, and I find it plenty comfortable for me. Absolutely amazing A+ ride quality. Sound in here, well, it's very, very quiet, very vault-like, something I would expect from such an expensive sedan. Even though we have massive 21s on here. Yes, I have a tiny bit of tire noise, but it's mostly white noise. Yeah, the lights on here are super bright. The low beams are good, have good uniformity, good spread. Here's a spot where it's very dark. I'm gonna go ahead and put the high beams on. Yes, they're fantastic. So nothing to complain about there with the lights. The interior, we know at night Audi has LEDs everywhere, from the traditional sunglasses holder area, which there is no sunglasses holder, to the headliner between the front and rear seats. There are LED lights. There are LED lights around the speakers, LED lights that are customizable underneath the dash, on top of the dash. I say that the Germans like to create their own discotheque inside their luxury vehicles. Does it scream luxury to me? Absolutely not. Is it cool? Yeah, it's cool, but I don't feel like it's luxury. They're just light strips. Luxury would be uniquely laying out lights here with some cool patterns over top of it. For example, the Nissan Ariya just does kind of a faint glow, but it has a very premium styled grates that go over its ambient lighting. So that the lighting in something like a Nissan Ariya is more luxury-like than what we have here, in my opinion. Also, something that falls short of luxury, in my opinion, is these screens. We have a 10-inch screen here, and I think this is an 8-inch climate control. I'm used to it at this point. I've been in so many Audis, but man, I would love some high quality feeling climate control knobs here than just a touchscreen panel. So it kind of falls flat on me. Yes, I like the carbon fiber here on this S8, and I like how when you really crank the AC, the vent covers here that are carbon fiber, or at least the one on my side, it opens up, which is kind of a neat feature. The speakers pop up, these tweeters for the Bang & Olufsen, they pop up. Of course, I have the option. I believe this is a 21 speaker. Yes, it sounds pretty good. Even in auto mode, how responsive are we here? We'll pedal down. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's just so smooth and gutsy. So much torque, 590 pound-feet of torque. I remember saying last time I drove this, I mean, because it was very memorable. That's how good this car is. I remember saying last time I drove this that I could just die and go to heaven with this V8. I mean, yeah, I want this V8 in a ton of different vehicles, this 4-liter twin turbo. And the 8-speed here is fantastic too, super smooth but quick at the same time. Let's talk about the brakes. Well, they turned green, but the brakes in here are fantastic, very predictable, very linear. It can bite right at the end and stop the car to a halt because they are performance brakes. So you just have to keep in mind that they're a bit grabby as you come to a stop, but it doesn't bother me, and I'm kind of used to it at this point. And I will ding it for this. I talked about road noise, but I'm getting a constant spray, that water spray, into the wheel wells of the water that's on the road. I would have expected that to be maybe a little bit more quiet and removed from the cabin. But you know, the acoustic glass in here, I have like no wind buffeting. When I was on the highway, I picked up my parents from the airport, so I went on the interstate. This thing was just even super smooth, quiet, and planted at triple-digit speeds. The wind noise was pretty minimal. I got a little bit off the mirrors, but pretty minimal overall from so like this thing would be an amazing road trip car. Absolutely, tons of space, tons of comfort. I got the massaging seats. These seats are very comfortable. Of course, they're ventilated, and if the car is remotely cooled off on the interior, the ventilated seats are just too cold. So I've only had them on once or twice in here because yeah, it's just the ventilated seats work too well. It's a good problem. I do have paddle shifters here, so you guys can see. Look how quick those shifts are. Ooh, let's go. Jeez Louise. You know, with how much torque and power and how much of it is everywhere, it's almost like an electric car, but just so much better, so much more natural feeling. Wow. Yeah, I love the Audi S8. It's not a perfect car. The draw to this to me is the powertrain, the exterior. It's very sleeper-like, very unassuming, and I think some people might be looking for that in a performance sedan. I mean, are the cops gonna be looking, well, gosh, I can't figure out the windshield wipers. So the cops are gonna be looking for you in a silver, massive sedan? No, this thing doesn't look much different than an AH from a ways off. So it's not like it's a magnet, and if you have an addiction to acceleration and speed, this car can definitely hit those desires for you. On the steering, I haven't even talked about it because everything's flat and straight in Florida. Yeah, this boat with a long wheelbase, it is, it handles extremely well. I haven't talked about the head-up display. The head-up display is great. Let's see if I get turn by turn. Well, there's the lane keep. That did a pretty good job. Let's just put in an address. I don't believe I have turn by turn on here, which is a bit disappointing for such a tech-focused car that I don't have turn-by-turn navigation. Let's give her one last ring out here. Catch that Corolla. Jeez Louise. Oh man, this thing, it feels almost as fast, or around thereabouts as fast as my Yamaha MT-09. And that says something. When a car can keep up with a high displacement Japanese motorcycle, then it's packing some real power. So I'm getting into there as we come into a rain shower. Thank you guys for watching. Audi, thank you for sending me your flagship S8 sedan. What a comfortable, luxurious, and fun to drive. That's the thing. In a big sedan like this, I'm not expecting fun to drive, but it is engaging. It sounds good. It's smooth. It's fast. It handles well. It brakes well. I mean, it's like an end game car. All right. So I'm very, very excited that I got to drive the S8 once again after a few years. It's pretty much entirely unchanged from my understanding, and it's not a bad thing at all. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.